All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
The Hebrew Israelites back again with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Before we begin this lesson, we're going to give all honor, praise, and glory unto
To
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Hashem,
Bahashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Hashem,
Bahashem,
Rakah,
Rafak, Wadash.
Kodash. All right, double honors to the elders that we learnt from. And Shalom to you, Akwaf in order. Shalom to you, Israelites scattered abroad that may look like these other nations. That means you might look like a so-called white man, Chinese man, or an Arab or whatever. But if your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you are a Hebrew Israelite, regardless of your appearance. We teach this time and time again. You still have scoffers out there that can't grasp that because they ain't spiritual. They don't understand what they're involved in. You know, them Negro-only bug-outs that have no camps. No profits on the hybrids and hedges in these last days. You know what I mean? No content on their page half the time. But yeah, they want to jump on a comment board and tell you only Negroes are the 12 tribe. 12 tribe chart is false. Bug outs, man. But anyway, that's a side note. There's a lot going on, man. Exciting times we're living in, man. So, you know, we want to touch on this and you know, basically link it up with biblical prophecy as we've been teaching and show you where it says certain things in the scripture that you're actually seeing play out before your very eyes, man. Exciting times we're living in because the Lord is speeding this thing up and, you know, it's beautiful. Every once in a while you might have a little dull moment, but lately we ain't had many, man. Just having a lot of things happening back to back. You know, like we say, you know, it could all kick off suddenly, man. Like you could wake up one morning and boom, life will never be the same again. Okay. Just like back in the pandemic, the lockdowns and all that. You know what I mean? That was a major turning point in history, and life has never been the same since, you know? And the same things happening to this day. I mean, you got this incident that we're going to get into where, well, a few incidents really, but the main one is being the Hezbollah, uh, the Lebanese army are under attack basically, man. So you know you got their pages blowing up. You know I'm sure most of you have heard about what's happening. But we're gonna bring out a few precepts and a few videos, and we'll just see where this lesson goes, man. But we just got to speak on it for those that might not know what's going on, or for those that don't know how it links up with biblical prophecy. We're going to bring this to light, man. Lord willing, you're edified, all right? So, what should we do first? Should we bring out a clip, or what do you think?
I mean, we can always start with a precept. You know, you can't ever go wrong with bringing out a precept just to sort of touch on,
All right.
you know, the times that we're coming into, you know.
Yeah, this lesson ain't planned perfectly. We just threw a few precepts together. There's no particular order. So I think what we'll do, maybe we'll start with, you know, famous Matthew 24, where it speaks about wars and rumors of wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's turn.
You want to get it, or you want me to read it?
Yeah, I can grab it. It's cool.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna share your
Let me,
screen.
yeah, can. Let me, all right, cool. Yeah, that's cool. Right. Let's go to Matthew 24.
Yeah. There we go.
All right, so this Matthew 24, we're going to start at verse 6, I think.
Yeah, you can start at verse 6.
Yeah, for the sake of time. You know, this is where the point is. So Matthew 24 and 6, it says, "And ye shall hear of wars, and rumors of wars." This is talking about the times we're living in now. Okay, so this was prophesied thousands of years ago. Well, yeah, thousands of years ago, man. Basically, this was Yahushua said that in the times we're living in now, which is the end times, you can blatantly see we're in the end times. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." Ain't we seeing that happen right now? And this thing is intensifying as time goes on, you know, and it ain't gonna die down. You hear you got wars. You're seeing on the media all the things and skirmishes going on. You know what I mean? But you've also got rumors of wars. I mean, it weren't too long ago they were talking about the USA was going to have Canada or something invade Haiti you know?
for the oil reserves or
Yeah.
something to do with
And
that.
nothing came of that. But that was a rumor of war, and there's many other rumors, but that's just the one I can think off the top of my head. So it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet," because we got a few more prophecies to play out. The MOTB, Jacob's trouble, you know, martial law, and
Famines.
some of, huh?
You got the famines as well.
Famines. That's right. And you got pestilences, more pestilences to come. Even though there's talk of all that happening right now, you got is it the EE or triple E virus, the mosquito virus, and you got the Mpox, you got the vid. So you got all these things happening that the scriptures said would happen in these times, man. Letting you know, just showing you that this book is undefeated, man. Ain't no book in the world like this book. A lot of people still scoff after all the evidence. You got the digital currency where they're going to end up putting your currency on a tracking device, which they're going to implant in your body, your right hand or your forehead. Got Elon Musk with his Neuralink. It's all coming together at the right time, at the appointed time, which is now.
Yeah, they're even moving into making things cashless as well. The cashless society, which coincides all with the MOTB.
Yep. That's it. The mark of the beast is here. We're right at the doorstep. But, right now we're going to focus on the wars and rumors of wars. So this is what you're seeing happening, man. You got all kinds of skirmishes going on between Iran and Israel and Lebanon.
Lebanon.
Yep. So it's all happening on cue. Okay. The Bible is undefeated.
And they're all starting to move towards that Levant region. That's what it talks about in the scriptures, the valley of Yehoshaphat or Jehoshaphat, as a lot of Christians say, but it's Yehoshaphat in the Hebrew. They're all gathering in that region, the Levant region. We always got to keep our eyes on the Levant region to see exactly what, where we are in prophecy. And we see that they're all gathering in that region,
And Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Tahar, he said the other day to keep our eyes on that region, and then boom. I think it was like the very next day, and all of a sudden, boom, you got these pager attacks, which we're going to speak on more in just a moment, because this takes the war to a whole new level, man.
I see.
This is a major turning point, and right now in your personal life in this so-called first world society, this Western society, everybody's still able to go to work and go jogging and walk their dog and all the things they like to do, right? Live it up, man, while you can, because them days are almost over, man. Because this war ain't gonna die down, you got to think logically here. There ain't gonna be no peace talks that is gonna just calm everything down and everybody's gonna come to some sort of peace agreement. That ain't gonna happen. For one, because it's biblical prophecy, and for two, because it's common sense, man. When have you ever seen a group of niggas at the club shoving each other and getting rowdy, and then it don't end up in gunshots? When do you ever see that? It always ends up nasty. It always ends up, in chaos. And that's what we're getting ready to see, man. But these elites, they want chaos so they can bring the order, which is the MOTB. All right.
I say you got more on that Matthew 24.
Well, it says here, "See that ye be not troubled." I want to say that for you Akim out there, this is it. But don't worry, man, because just do exactly as the scriptures say, and then you can't go wrong. The scriptures say, "Be not troubled, be not troubled." All right, just let it play out. Even if it does start to, hit our doorsteps, hit home. Hey, still be not troubled, because the Lord has got us, man. Us that are hoping in the Lord's mercy.
This is where that faith kicks in.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I might as well bring out, there's a bit more meat on there, to be honest. So Matthew 24:7, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Salakia. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." Can't forget about the earthquakes. The earthquakes are through the roof. All right, every day there's earthquakes on earth, man. Lots of them. It's just not mainstream. It's not all in your face. You gotta actually look for them, because there's so much going on in the earth that they're not going to show you every earthquake that's going on, but there are major earthquakes, and for one, I mean, one reason is these elites don't want people knowing how true the Bible is, because then when you start to see all the earthquakes that are actually happening, then people will start to believe that the scriptures are real. They don't want that. They want you to think the Bible is full of fairy tales. So nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's Esau versus Esau, Satan versus Satan, and his kingdom can't stand. When you see that happening, man, scriptures say if Satan rise up against Satan, his kingdom can't stand but have an end, roughly paraphrasing. But this is what we're seeing happening, because these devils that rule the earth, man, they're fighting each other. And these heathen, all these people that have us under their foot. But all this is, let the slave masters fight so we can take over master's crib after, if you get what I'm saying. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines." That's coming soon. It's happening on a small scale. And pestilences, which is diseases. You got all these different diseases I ain't gonna mention, for they flag this video. And earthquakes in diverse places. It says all these are the beginning of sorrows.
Yeah, so this is just the beginning.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. That's right. I gotta emphasize that, because, and we still shouldn't be fearful, all right? But this is the beginning of sorrows. I mean, you're getting ready to see some things that is gonna blow your mind, all right? We're living in the last days of the last days, the final chapter of this era. As long as we've known history books and stuff, man, as long as we've been living on earth, we've always seen the white man ruling the earth. They're all around us. You can't go anywhere without seeing the white man, right? So-called white man. And we're coming into the time of their destruction, where pretty soon they're going to be under our foot. We're not going to be oppressed by them anymore. We're going to be their oppressors when we have them in captivity, which is biblical prophecy. And then eventually we're not going to see them anymore, because the Lord's going to have us take them out the earth. And then comes peace on earth, and everybody can live happily ever after. Even the heathen. Because although all the heathen are our enemies, Esau, Edom is our number one enemy. These Amalekites, these fake JEWs, prancing around pretending to be us. Everyone's clocking on to the fact that these people are the problem in the earth. They're the reason for everything. Every problem in the earth, man. I just want to turn to 2 Timothy 3:1, because we don't need to read much of that. I think we might just read part one. Actually, we'll read a bit more, but we'll want to emphasize the first precept right here. So 2 Timothy 3:1, it says, "This know also, that in the last days that we're living in now, right, perilous times shall come." Where the scriptures talk about the beginning of sorrows, this is what you're seeing, man. Every day you wake up, you never know what's going to happen. You switch on the news, like for us, our news, we go on Instagram or TikTok. TikTok used to have a reputation of being nothing but little teeny bops, dancing around and stuff, right? But then after the C-19 hit, everybody all of a sudden became a so-called conspiracy theorist, man. Weren't trusting their government, and they're digging up everything that they're up to. Now these devils can't hide. And that's also a biblical prophecy, man. But so we get our news from social media, which they're actually trying to do away with because it exposes Esau Edom. Everything he does, we pick it apart. But you got all these patriotic devils and different sorts of people on different platforms, mainly TikTok and stuff, bringing out the crimes and the things of Esau Edom, right? But it's all for the prophets. It's so we can bring it out in our lessons to edify the hopeful elect. You sheep out there, you people that tune into our videos, you wise ones of the world that are in the house of mourning with us. So it says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of themselves, their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. And this is all due to this system that Esau Edom set up, where he says that women can be free and liberal and, they have liberty to do what they want, feminism. You got, when it goes into disobedient to parents, hey, that's due to the fact that this man won't let you give your child a good spanking when they need it to get them in check. Also the fact that he's set it up to where the men and the women are fighting, and then the household is divided to where you don't have a stable home with a man and a woman in raising the children. It's always among our people anyway, it's always the woman raising the child, the single mothers and stuff, you know what I mean? That's well known amongst our people because it's also biblical prophecy. It's one of the curses. So it says, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. I'll let you guys read it for yourselves because we don't want to go off topic here. This is kind of going off topic because, like I said, the main thing I wanted to bring up was in verse 1 where it says that perilous times shall come. This is what we want to emphasize on because it goes hand in hand with the beginning of sorrows. So this is the times we're in, perilous times, okay? So let's move on real quick. This is 2nd Ezra 8:50, and I promise we're going to get to some clips. So Lord willing, you've made it this far. But we got to bring this out so you know what time it is. It says, 2nd Ezra 8:50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. So because of the condition of the people, which, I was starting to bring out in 2 Timothy, what was it, 2 Timothy 3? It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them in the latter time. The Lord is bringing the hammer down on these people, man. Curses, okay, on them. Plagues upon them. Because they've walked in great pride. You got the women walking around like they don't need a man and all that, just proud as all hell. You got Esau walking around with his nose up in the air, looking down on you jakes. And stiff-necked 2/3 niggas too, man. Just waxing worse and worse, man. So this is what's happening, The Lord says many great miseries shall be done to the people of the earth, basically, man. And that's what you're seeing happening. All right, so without further ado, let's just play a clip or two.
Shaken anew. A funeral stemming from yesterday's pager attack, suddenly the site of fresh chaos. A man lies on the ground, apparently injured by a blast. A new wave of seemingly bigger explosions at funerals, apartment buildings, at mobile phone shops, Again, communications devices the focus. This time, VHF walkie-talkies, an apparent sleeper weapon. Hezbollah still reeling from the extent to which its communications had been penetrated and weaponized, now discovering the breach was deeper still.
All right, really quickly, for those that don't know what's going on, which I'm pretty sure most of you know what's going on by now, the Hezbollah, which is the Lebanon forces, they were issued pagers because basically they were told that the mobile phones, to carry around a mobile phone was dangerous because it gives away their location and stuff like that. You know, the technology today with all the tracking and all that in it. So basically they were told to have these pagers, and then, you know, all of a sudden Israel detonated these hacked these pagers or something to where he was able to make them explode. So they had basically either done something to the pagers beforehand, or they have some technology in a lithium battery where they can cause the battery to explode and turn the pager into a bomb.
Yeah, just to sort of add, basically they were able to access the operating system, the OS of the pages, and what they did is they sent a code which caused the battery to heat up. Once the battery hits a certain temperature, like the lithium, once it hits a certain temperature, then it causes that reaction, which obviously expands and explodes. You know, so that's basically what it is they had access to the operating systems of the pagers, which you would think somebody with like old school technology like a pager, it wouldn't be that hackable. And I think they probably thought, you know, it's safer than using, you know, a smartphone which can be tracked. You know, they would use a pager, and here we have it. You can see in the background.
Yeah, man. That's clever. You know, that's really clever. But what you're seeing in this clip is basically when everyone thought it was over, they hit them with a second wave of attacks where they had their walkie-talkies blow up or something, man, and other devices apparently. So it just shows you, man, you know, being that he can do this with technology, the cat's out the bag now. You know what I mean? Like, if Esau wants to target one of the somebody that's out there giving out too much information, or, you know, they're on the CIA watch list or whatever, you know, hey, they could do the same to them, target their phone while they have it up to their face or whatever, man. You know? But I got a precept on that. I want to bring that out in just a sec. We'll play a bit more of this and then we'll bring out a precept or two, because yeah, Esau, man, he's clever man.
Nothing will shake us, not even if you blow us up, or our children. We are steadfast in our path and will not change or move.
Yesterday afternoon, hundreds of pages first beeped with a message purporting to be from Hezbollah leadership, and then exploded, killing and injuring fighters, other Hezbollah members, medics, civilians. Some reports that Israel feared its capability was on the verge of being discovered. The choice, use it or lose it.
I don't buy it. I think these rumors, unconfirmed stories are just in order to deflect the criticism inside Israel that someone prematurely activated it. Namely, it's the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu who gave the order.
Lebanon's health minister said today of the more than 2,750 people injured in the attack, 150 were in the east of the country, 750 were in the south, with the overwhelming majority, some 1,850 people, in the capital, Beirut. About 300 suffered critical injuries and 460 needed surgery, most on their eyes or faces. Operating theatres overwhelmed as eye surgeons in particular dealt with injuries on a scale they'd never experienced.
1/3 of these 110 lost vision in both eyes irreversibly. And the other 2/3, we have been working all night long. I think this will take us another one day to salvage one eye. So all the eye injuries are associated with amputated fingers.
The pages carried the branding of Taiwanese firm Gold Apollo. It issued a statement saying it had licensed a Hungarian-based company to make the devices in question, bearing its logo. Today, the Hungarian government denied the pages had ever been on its soil, that the firm in question had no manufacturing capacity, even as an opposition MP demanded an investigation into whether it was a front for Israeli intelligence. Israel's defense minister today saying a new phase of the war had begun, a shift in focus from Gaza to the north. This after the news that a division of elite paratroopers and commandos had been sent there in preparation for further escalation. Escalation, exactly what the US has been cautioning against for months. The Secretary of State was in Egypt today, working on a new Gaza ceasefire text. Israel's main ally saying it got no advance warning of the pager attack.
We remain very clear about the importance of all parties avoiding any steps that could further escalate the conflict that we're trying to resolve in Gaza, to see it spread to other fronts.
So the USA is basically saying that they didn't know that this was going to happen, which I call bullshit on that one, man. It stinks of the US, and Israel is like a mini Babylon the Great, a mini USA. Okay, they're the same people, man. They're partners in this. So if one person's doing something, the other's gonna know about it. But yeah, man, a very sophisticated and strategic attack. You know, they're saying that people's fingers got blown off, and they had them up to their faces. A lot of them at the time, and you know, their faces got injured and stuff, and that's so clever, man. They're saying, because the numbers keep changing, like some people were saying 150, but then others are saying it was like 2,750 got injured, and they're saying that the numbers keep increasing. You know, I've even heard people say it was over 3,000, and I was like, damn, that's a lot of people in the military that are crippled now. It's like the war is almost over for them, you know, before it even really started.
Yeah, you can imagine, like, you know, some of those people that had the pages on them, you know, they had the pages in their pocket or something like that, you know, and boom, leg damage, you know what I mean? Or you know, you get, you know, you get your rod blown off or something, man. Yeah, but, you know, who's to say that these pagers, right, that exploded, you know, a kid wasn't playing with. You know how kids like to play with technology and all that other stuff. Who's to say? You know what I mean? That just goes to show you the level of this devil, how low he's willing to go to stay in power, basically. You know, stay in rulership.
Yeah, this was an act of terrorism, but they will never say that, because it doesn't go according to their narrative. If anyone else does something like that, automatically terrorism.
Yeah.
But when it's them,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Imagine the shoe was on the other foot.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
they did that to, yeah, man, America would go to war over that. But the funny thing I found here is that supposedly America had no idea. They had no idea that this was gonna happen. But like, since when does America not know? Like, that these types of things are gonna happen, you know what I mean? To try and make themselves look like the logical ones, like, oh, you know, if they'd have told us, we'd have told them to go and do. You probably encouraged them to do that, you know what I mean?
They probably trained them how to do it.
Yeah, because I think they said in the report that, you know, Israel was on the verge of being discovered, that they had this technology, and they said it's either use it or lose it. And they would rather use it, or something to that effect. It's like, yeah, America probably like, yeah, you know, they're onto you. They know that, yeah, you better do it now if you want to, you know what I mean? And then they deny it. America is such liars, man. They're such liars. They act like they don't know what's going on. Like, you mean to tell me that, you know, you can hunt Bin Laden in a cave, you know, and send the SEAL team to his house and all that other stuff, get him, but you didn't know that Israel was about to perform this attack. So it's like, how close of an ally are they to you if they're not even giving you any information?
That's why I said this is bullshit. You know, you can't listen, you can't believe anything Esau Edom says, whether it's Israel or whether it's America. They're the same people anyway, man.
Yeah.
The nation of Edom.
Exactly. But before you continue playing, I just want to bring out a precept because this just goes to show you, like, Esau has the technology to use these devices as weapons, right? We know that now. So who's to say that the smartphone in your pocket couldn't be used as the same type of technology if they wanted to take you out or something? But I got a precept here. This is in the book of Genesis, right? And it reads, this is Genesis chapter 27, verse 39.
Hey, start at verse 38 if you could.
Yeah.
Bit more
Okay.
meat on-
So yeah, this is basically just to summarize it for you. This is after Jacob had received the blessing, from his father Isaac, and then Esau found out about it, and he weren't too pleased. But hey, it was prophecy that was supposed to happen because Esau was rejected because he gave up his birthright for pottage, red pottage, So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 38. And it reads, And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. He cried like a baby because, what do they say? The slang term is you sold your loaf. You sold your loaf. Like, you gave up the kingdom. You had the kingdom and you just didn't care about it. It weren't important to you. Now you lost it. You lost out on a blessing, right? And this is verse 39. It says, And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. So Esau, he's living in the best places. He's got the fatness of the earth. He's rich. They're unimaginably rich. They could solve the world's money problems in an instant and still be rich, but they won't do it because they're greedy, right? And I'm going to keep reading because the point is in the next verse, chapter 27, verse 40. And it reads, And by thy sword shalt thou live. Now the sword is the weapon. Esau is the master of weaponry. That's his blessing. You can't beat Esau with his own blessing. That pager exploding in people's faces and in people's pockets. That's a weapon. That's the tactics that Esau was blessed with.
That's his style.
It's his style. That's why we call the so-called white man the devil that the Bible speaks of. They're the Edomites, because they're masters at creating weapons, whether it be mental manipulation, whether it be physical weaponry, whatever type of weapon that you can think of. Esau is the master of it. He's the master. That's his blessing, right? But I'm gonna continue reading.
And let me speak on that real quick. Because you see how they conquered the Native Americans with the Gatling gun, and the Native Americans had like spears and bow and arrows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Esau was able to conquer America because he was blessed with the sword, and that's why it says, By thy sword shalt thou live. And also a hint as to the fact that it's the so-called white man this is talking about is because this is their characteristics. Look at them. What is it? Is it the Second Amendment?
Yeah, Second Amendment, right to bear
Gun rights? Yeah. And they go crazy over that Second Amendment, man. These people are stocking up on guns like crazy.
Yeah.
This is why
and just to add as well, when you mention about the Native Americans, right? It wasn't just the gun that he beat the Native Americans with. He starved them out. He killed all the buffaloes. That was a weapon. A very tactical weapon. And he also gave them blankets with smallpox, laced with smallpox. Wow. So he wiped out the Native Americans so tactfully when they just invited him into hey, we'll invite you in, we'll teach you how to plow the land and live on the land and all this other stuff. And look what they repaid him with. slaughtered, and they celebrate that victory every year, Thanksgiving. You know?
Yep. They weaponize everything, you know, and they're masters at it. Like for instance, the blankets that you said with the smallpox, that was them using, they were crafty as hell, and in doing that and thinking up something like that, and they're living up to their blessing even today with the pagers, man. That was a very clever thing, and no one saw that coming, man. So
yeah. So I'm just going to read this scripture and just finish it out, and then we'll go back to the video. And it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Meaning they're going to be in the rulership seat. They're going to be demons like we see today. You know?
Because they used to serve us. We used to rule over them during what Esau likes to call the Dark Ages, before they came into power through what they call Alexander the Great, which we call Alexander the Freak. And that was the Renaissance era. Renaissance meaning rebirth.
That's right. So let me just pull the YouTube video back up. Slovakia. Slovakia. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so play this on.
Clearly not in the interest of anyone involved to see that happen.
Before the latest round of blasts, a funeral today for the youngest victim of the pager attacks. Fatima Abdullah was 9 years old. While Israel has not claimed responsibility, the attacks have drawn international criticism. Ireland talking of wanton disregard for civilian life, Belgium of terrorism, the UN human rights chief demanding accountability for those responsible. Hezbollah's leader Hassan Nasrallah due to speak tomorrow about its next steps.
Well, I'm now joined.
Well, there we go. You know, there you have it. You know, you see that, you know, a 9-year-old girl was killed in that first attack, and then obviously the day after they got the walkie-talkies, man. Like, that is mad.
Yeah. Apparently, many more children were injured too, because Esau don't care about civilian casualties, because they're collateral damage. You know, Esau don't have regard for life. When he wants a certain agenda done, he's gonna do what he's got to do, whether he's got to bomb a school or a playground or whatever. This devil, hey, he's something else. This is why I say this was an act of terrorism, man. Okay, you know.
So yeah, this is another video from a Canadian prepper, and he sort of goes into the premise of how they managed to cause the devices to explode, you know, and it's very useful to know this information just to see how cunning, you know, Esau Edom is with his blessing. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna start this video, and without further ado, check this out, man. Like, it's crazy.
Wow. Talk about a black swan event. This is the true definition of a black swan event in its purest form, because nobody anticipated this. Don't lie to me and try to tell me that you had exploding electronic devices on your Apocalypse Bingo card for 2024. Nobody did. Many of us had cyber attack. But even myself, who's looked at this issue extensively, I've had cybersecurity experts on the channel before. While it may have come up that you could definitely induce some sort of kinetic reactions in electronics or critical infrastructure, none of them predicted that something like this would ever happen. That you could actually manipulate a battery management system and induce a certain current that would trigger a thermal runaway effect, which would possibly trigger an explosive embedded within an electronic device, and do it simultaneously in thousands of different devices as a preempt to war. Nobody expected this. Holy shit, we are living in scary, scary times. When you know that increasingly more so, lithium batteries are in everything. And everything is networked. Everything is connected to the internet in some way, shape, or form. And these are all attack vectors. When you understand this, and what you're seeing behind me here is a guy who is inducing a overclocking in a computer by ramping up the voltage somehow remotely. I'm not sure if this is something that could be replicated by malware, but the cybersecurity experts I've spoken to said, yeah, this is easy. They can do it no problem if they have access to the OS, to the system. They can do this. So you're talking about the potential then to have a maximum overdrive situation. I don't even think Hollywood has made it this far yet. This guy is making a phone explode. What you're seeing here is a phone explosion, okay? That's just a phone. That's the battery from a phone exploding. Now, if you're wondering what the hell I'm rambling on about, today in Lebanon, Israel committed what some are calling one of the biggest terrorist attacks in history.
So, yeah, let me just stop it there, right? So, you know, on the last video we watched, right, they were sort of talking about, you know, they need to know who's responsible for this attack. But in this clip, he's already been, named the perpetrator, which was Israel. And again, you see like this application, how he's saying that they attacked the part of the operating system that controls the battery section, and it caused it to like keep working itself to where it overheats. Basically, in technical terms, overclocking is where you're pushing the device further than its recommended limit. So it's like you're pushing it harder. You know what I mean? Like a lot more severe. So obviously that caused the battery. When you use your battery, I don't know if you've ever felt your phone and you felt the battery was kind of warm. Like, wow, that's actually, my phone is kind of hot. Sometimes your phone will tell you, your phone is operating too hot, so it has to turn itself off. But in this case, they've exceeded that level. They've manipulated the software to exceed that level. So the phone just keeps, winding up. And then all of a sudden, that chemical reaction, and before you know it, you've got an exploding phone. And they said it was easy to manipulate that, right? Now, if you think about it, right, this is just from the Israelis. Now, you have to understand Esau's, a cunning hunter. If Esau, you had somebody out there with the know-how on how to remotely access people's phones and mess around with the operating system, potentially everybody's carrying a bomb on them. Anybody that has a phone.
Yeah, they could probably do it to Tesla cars too, man.
Yep.
Blow up your whole damn car. But speaking about cunning hunter, that's a good point. I got that preset. Let me quickly bring that out.
Let me share your screen.
All right. You got my screen up, yeah?
Yep.
All right. So this is the story of Jacob and Esau. Jacob being the progenitor of the nation of Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And Esau is our twin brother, and this is when he first came to the earth, okay? And he came out as looking like a what you would call a white boy. But the Bible describes him as being red because his blood shows through his skin. Now, you can read about this in Genesis 25. This shows where they first came to earth. But this this scripture right here in verse 27 is going into the characteristics of the two boys so you can further identify them in the times we're living in now, right? So it says, and the boys grew. They were twins, okay? Not identical twins, obviously. It was two nations were in Lord and Rebecca's womb.
Yeah, fraternal twins.
Fraternal twins, that's right. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. And this is why, the so-called white man loves to hunt. Because that's one of the characteristics of Esau, so we can identify him in the times we're living in now. Okay? It says a man of the field, meaning this man loves to skydive, he loves to rock climb, he loves surfing, he loves doing all that stuff. The field is the world. So he's a man of the world. He likes to be outdoors doing stuff. It says, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. This is why Jake loves to chill and blaze weed and listen to music and
Chilling at the crib.
Chilling in the crib, chilling in the cut. You know what I mean? That's Jake's style. He just likes to chill. He ain't into all that wild shit that Esau does, basically, right? But the point being in this scripture, it says that Esau was a cunning hunter. Now, not just the fact that they're good at hunting, but, you know, they're good at warfare. You know what I mean? And this is why, you know, when he planted them pages on them and blew them up, man, that is the characteristics of Esau right there, letting you know that those people in that land are Edomites, okay? They're the grandchildren of Esau, okay? The Amalekites, the small hats. So they're basically the same people, okay? Now, Esau, the Amalekites that live in our land right now, in the land of Israel, they're the chief tribe of Esau Edom, man. They're the I don't want to say too much because they'll take this video down, but these people aren't good people, man. They're the problem, okay? And this is how Esau gets down. He's very cunning in his ways, and to blow up pages, no, like that man said on what was it, the Canadian Prepper, he said that nobody saw this coming, and that's because Esau is a cunning hunter. It says it right here. All right, I won't go into it anymore. You can read it for yourself, all right? But around here, it describes a bit more about Esau and his selling his birthright, which is why, you know, we're getting ready to rule the earth next, okay? Pursuant to Genesis, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, it goes hand in hand with this. This is the reason why you need the Apocrypha to understand the whole Bible, but that's a whole nother topic. All right, we can go back to that clip if you want, if there's anything more on that.
To be brutally honest, that's what Edward Snowden is calling it. Right now, you have 400 to 500 members that they're claiming of Hezbollah. We're just going to say 400 to 500 people who are currently in critical condition and around 5,000 who've been injured. But those numbers could be much, much higher when the final tally eventually...
I had to pause that bit because that's crazy. Like, you remember earlier I was saying that some were saying it was 1,500, then it climbed up to 2,750. Then some people were saying it was above 3,000. This man just told us it was over 5,000 injured.
That's nuts.
You know, it just keeps climbing. Like, Esau is a cunning hunter for real. That was a very strategic and very clever and cunning attack. Unbelievable. This is going to be a very interesting war, all right? Because the technology that we have today is on another level, man.
Yeah, and just to add as well, you can see like when you look at the war in Russia, you can see the technology that's being used. Such as the drones. They went from firing missiles to using drone technology in the war. We've never sort of seen that technology. You remember, you think a few years back in the 90s, I think they had Desert Storm. They were going out, in convoys and they didn't really do a lot of fighting, but they were going out in convoys. But you couldn't imagine if the Iraqis were sort of stuck in and fighting back. Do you really think they would have been using drones then? No, they would have been using conventional weapons. But now, because the wars have progressed and the technology's progressed, they're using drones to spot the enemy. They're using them robot dogs. I mean, it's like Esau's a cunning hunter, because them robot dogs can sit there for days, not moving an inch, and then sort of creep up and surveillance and all that stuff.
Yep. Yeah, them robot dogs and things like that have taken this war to a whole new level, man, that we've never seen. You know, Esau's got technology that we don't even know about, and I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure that he's gonna release them in these times, and you're already seeing it. Whoever heard of a pager blowing up, man? When I first heard that, I was like, damn, this damn devil's something else, boy. You know?
Exactly,
So
man. That's
interesting times, man.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Comes out. Now, what happened was 3 months ago, Hezbollah ironically warned all of their fighters. If you remember Nasrallah's address, he's the leader of Hezbollah. He came out and said, we need to get rid of our smartphones because they are using these. They're compromised. They're using these to spy. They're using these to triangulate our locations. They're hacking into them. And it's causing us to lose a lot of battles. It's having deleterious effects on our military. And as such, they switched over to these pagers, these simpler pagers, which they presumed were harder to hack. Well, there's a discourse raging online right now. And then, of course, what happened is they all simultaneously today detonated, exploded. And what happened was the reason why there's so many serious injuries is because, I guess, prior to the explosion, the pager went off. So most people, when their pager goes off, I haven't used a pager in decades. I didn't even think they were still a thing. Apparently, it's we were led to believe, I guess up until this point, that they were a more resilient and resistant technology that couldn't be hacked in the battlefield. But I guess now no electronics are going to be trusted as communication devices in this way. But what happened was people would look at the pager to see what number was calling. Apparently the number that was calling was supposedly from one of the higher ups, so it was important, or it was like spoofed, or what do they call it, using a proxy or something to make it look like that was the person who was calling, and then it exploded. So a lot of injuries to people's hands, and of course a lot of issues with blindness because it exploded in their face and acted as whatever components were in the pager acted like as shrapnel, and so it went into people's eyes.
Damn.
So even the Iranian ambassador apparently.
Could you imagine friggin' like little tiny nuts and bolts and screws just firing at your eyeballs and oh gosh.
That was very strategic, man. That was very clever, because they know that if you blow a hand off, how they gonna pull triggers and throw grenades and do all the things that they got to do in a war to be effective in war?
Yeah.
And if they've damaged your vision, your eyes or your face, hey, you're out for the count for a bit, man.
Yeah, them soldiers being maimed and all that other stuff, you render them pretty much useless.
Exactly. So that was a very, very clever move, man. Very clever. And that's why I say we're in exciting times, because you're going to see a lot more things like this, where Esau shows that he's the devil and shows that he is Esau, because they try hard to hide that fact. But, for us to understand the scriptures, it's very plain for us to see that this man is the Edomite. And you got people out there thinking it's the Arabs and all that, man. The Arabs ain't doing stuff like this. The Arabs are the victims of Esau's attacks like this, man. How is he the Edomite, the cunning hunter? These people are nuts, but anyway.
Stricken with this blindness issue as a result of him having one of these pagers, or somebody near him having one of these pagers. Maybe somebody said, hey, the supreme leader is calling me, and take a look, and it exploded in his face. Who knows? But this is serious. You're going to see a massive response from Hezbollah, because if they don't, they've essentially conceded defeat. This is the ultimate declaration of war. think of how far up the escalation ladder we've moved on the northern front. And it's been so incremental and gradual, almost very sophisticatedly orchestrated in order for people to not even really notice how serious it's become. Because there was a time when just a simple cross-border exchange between Hezbollah and Israel was newsworthy. Long gone are those days. We're talking about day after day, heavy bombardment on both sides, rocket attacks by Hezbollah, and heavy bombardment by Israel. You have high-level assassinations, and then it got stepped up continuously. You had that big attack on the Golan Heights. Still, you know, some people debate who was at fault for that, whether it was an Iron Dome intercept or whatever. You have this progressive ramping up now to the point where you have arguably one of the biggest, what some people are calling a terrorist attack, Edward Snowden calling it a terrorist attack. And by most definitions, you'd have to agree because, of course, this was a very indiscriminate attack. These bombs went off in marketplaces, in doctors' offices, pretty much everywhere, presuming that it was all Hezbollah operators who were in possession of these and not children, not anybody else, not somebody who was just affiliated with the Hezbollah group. It may have not have been a combatant. And then, of course, that gets into a very gray area in terms of who is a combatant and who isn't. And, of course, that works.
All right, so I'm going to stop it there anyway because, you know, I mean, he's going on. But, you know, just to sort of what he was saying, just to speak on what he was saying that the northern front, right, because World War III is brewing. We're on the verge of World War III. And the northern front, which will be the Lebanon, Yemen, Israel area, which, again, is all culminating in the Levant region. You know, we're going to that same region, right? I got a precept that I wanted to bring out, which I'm going to just put on the screen right now. And this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. And I'm going to read down because there's quite a bit of meat on there. And it says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up." Right, and this is what we're seeing. We're seeing that, you know, it says prepare war, and we're seeing them preparing for war. Like, this is an escalation, like the Canadian prepper guy just said. It's like, this is a major escalation. You know, you've got people's pages that have just gone off and thousands of people injured, you know, people in critical condition. And they said if there isn't a response, it's almost like they concede, like they've just lost. They're not going to lose that. That, you know, they want nothing less than the destruction of Israel, you know. So they're not going to stop. They're just going to keep pushing, you know. What do you say?
I said that's right.
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
Right.
So I'm going to keep reading, and it says, verse 10: "Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." So you got all these nations that you know don't have a history of being like a war nation, like, you know, having a strong military. You know, they're cultivating all of their, you know, resources, like their farm resources, their, you know, the money that they would use for their farming industry. They're all plowing that into the military complex, because they're building up their armies. They're preparing for war. Like, this is gonna keep boiling over until boiling point, when, you know, it's now, look, they need to go. They need to be wiped completely off the map. You know what I mean? That's where it's leading to, right? So these weakened nations are now proclaiming that they're strong because they're arming themselves with these powerful weapons. You know?
Yeah, a lot of them got their hands on nuclear capabilities now, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got nukes now.
That's right. So I'm gonna keep. Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nah, correct. That's cool.
Yeah. This is verse 11. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither, because thy mighty ones come down, O Yahweh."
Cause thy mighty ones.
thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, Salakia. Right? It says, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, Jehoshaphat. This is that Levant region. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Right? So this is what is happening. All those nations are being gathered together in that region. Right? You know, you're going to have America in that region, because once Iran gets involved, America is going to step in. Iran has not contracts, what's the word? Alliances with Russia. So Russia's going to get involved. Russia's already, you know, in beef with NATO as we speak, you know, because America, Britain, Canada, all of NATO basically are telling Ukraine, yeah, you can use our weapons to strike in the heartland of Russia, you know, Mother Russia. So all of these things are culminating, and it's all going to end in that valley of decision, just as the scriptures have prophesied. You know, that's why we say prophecy is speaking loud and clear in these end times. You know, the book has been opened, and we're starting to be able to see the vision, and we're proclaiming that, you know, to the world, you know, or to the elect mainly.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Right?
Yeah,
so I'm going to get this last verse in verse 13, and then I'll leave it there and we'll move on. But it says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. So it's time for you wicked, or those wicked nations out there, these heathens, to receive their judgment. You know, it's only so much the Lord is going to allow you to get away with before it's time to be judged, you know? And that's what I mean. Like when it says, put ye in the sickle, like if you think about wheat fields, you know, they got that, what do you call it? That sickle. It's like a big thing that chops down all the wheat once it's ready to be harvested. That's literally what's about to happen to these nations once Yahweh Shai comes back on the scene. You know what I mean? And that's not too far off from now. You know, we're in the time of prophecy. These prophecies are every day, like Canadian Prepper said. Like these things in the news, you would hear about them every so often, but now it's happening so often. It's almost every day you're hearing something new. Right?
That's it. Beautiful. Beautiful times.
That's it.
That's it, man. Let me pull up a preset. Have you got my screen up on?
Yeah.
All right. So this is Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Babylon. Babylon is America. It says, and his purposes that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldeans, which is also America, right? It's another word for America. There's many names for America. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So basically, the least of the flock is Israel, man. The Amalekites, the small hats, yeah, man. It says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So this is what it's going to come to, man. It's going to end up being nuclear, and the Lord's going to make that land desolate so that he can put us back in it. He's going to clean them gutter rats out of it. But it says, the point here is that surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So basically, by Israel performing this pager attack, hey man, this just took the war to a whole new level, because Hezbollah is not gonna let that ride, man. They're like an O-Dog or Menace. F that, I ain't letting that shit ride. They're gonna take revenge. They're not gonna sit back and let this happen. They're gonna have to start getting strategic now. And this takes the war to a whole new level, which means that other nations are going to have to get involved. Other countries, they're going to have to get involved. So this is the least of the flock drawing them out. This is what's happening, man. Thought I'd just bring that out. Let me, as a matter of fact, I think we're good on that. we've done that. Yeah, let me bring out Obadiah real quick. As a matter of fact, I'll start at 1. So this is Obadiah 1:1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, right? This is the vision of Obadiah. It says, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom, which is a so-called white man. Okay. It says, we have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. All right, so everyone's turning on America and Israel right now. It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. So the Lord is saying that these people have become not only insignificant, but despised. Like, everyone despises them, man. Because they're nothing but genocidal oppressors, man. And they will never know any different. Colonizers. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And this is the reason I wanted to bring these precepts out, is for this one right here. Because being that Israel has just committed this attack, and it's been very successful, you know damn well Esau is proud as hell right now. He's feeling a sense of pride. They're celebrating. They're like, yeah, we're untouchable, right? This is them in a nutshell right here. They're probably out there drinking champagne right now, having a little party.
Beep beep. Beep beep.
It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. So don't get so proud, Esau Edom, man, because your day is coming. It says, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, because that's where they used to live. And nowadays they're living in modern day caves in them skyscrapers and stuff, man. It's nothing but a modern day cave. It says, whose habitation is high, up in them high rises and stuff, man. But also they're in they have the fatness of the earth, so they're living in the highest places, the nicest land. They have the fatness of the earth, man. It says, that saith in his heart, in his mind, this is what they say to themselves, who shall bring me down to the ground? They think they're undefeated, man. And you know they're celebrating and thinking they're untouchable right now because of this. Because right now it looks like they're winning. They're on a winning team. They got themselves a nice little victory. Having themselves a victory party as we're speaking, probably, a lot of them. But, you know, that rejoicing is going to be short-lived. Let me see if there's any more meat on that. We'll go a little bit further. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, right? And what is the symbol of America? You know? What is the symbol of, I forget. What's the other countries?
So you have, I think you have Germany.
Pretty much every country.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, you have Germany. I think you have. Matter of fact, let me have a look quick.
Spain.
Yeah.
You had the Roman Empire. They exalted the eagle as their symbol, I believe. You know, I ain't really looked this up in a long time. I used to know, but I forgot, man. It slipped my mind. But though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and the main thing that comes to mind should be the American flag. How they have that eagle sat on the top of the flagpole, and they have the eagle on the the quarter.
Yeah, yeah.
This is because the eagle is a bird of prey, you know. They're up high where, you know, they can't be touched. Their habitation is high. And then they'll swoop down on their prey, man. They got an advantage. A height advantage. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, because the eagle is a bird of prey. It says, though thou set thy nest among the stars. And when you go into that word nest, talking about weapons, right? So they got space-based weapons in the heavens right now. Though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. So at the peak of his kingdom, where they're able to set their weapons in space, now their time is ripe and ready to be brought down by the Lord. And this is what you're seeing happening. Hence the reason why this war is only going to escalate. It's only going to spiral out of control until these devils destroy themselves, man. I'll leave that there. I think that point is made on that. But you can play that Dabu clip now if you want. Yeah. Unless you've got something you want to bring out.
No, I think I'm good on that.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see you pull that up. The Eagles.
Oh yeah,
man.
I was just showing the different ones. But so this clip that we're about to get into now is an incident that happened in Russia. You know, Dabu will go into it a little bit more, and we'll just bring a couple scriptures out, just pertaining to this, because again, we keep saying that we're in that time where the escalation is just going to keep boiling over. This is an example of what we mean. This is showing you. Yeah, this is showing you like the times that we're in. The level that we're getting to now. So, Khan, you can play that.
Yeah.
That's a huge explosion.
Олег, нормально, дом стоит, вон я вижу его. Вон, видишь? Дом жив еще? Да.
This is Dabu 7, and what you guys are looking at is a massive mushroom cloud that came from the strike that took place overnight from Ukraine in Russian territory using drones. It triggered the massive explosion and the after explosions that you've seen in those clips. This is a good bit into Russia, and you can guarantee that Russia is going to see that this is a NATO strike or a Western-backed strike after all this. This is a very important site. This is a Russian weapon stockpile. And some are saying, is there some nuclear in there? Because the mushroom cloud that was emanating from this that you can see here on the left, this is eerily similar to what we've been waiting for in this region. Because the Chinese, when they put their rover in space, in the background on their image, there was a mushroom cloud on Earth, and it made no sense. And when you looked into exactly where this came from, it's in this region, somewhere between Moscow, Ukraine, roughly, right in that area where the war is going down.
Damn.
This mushroom cloud emanates from off this image for no reason. I have multiple videos on my channel. If you type in mushroom cloud, Ukraine, covering this, one's got like over 500,000 views. So we've had our eyes on this for about a decade, and now we have a mushroom cloud popping up in this exact area. What this tells me, though, is that they're going to strike back, and they're going to strike back hard. America's about to get caught slipping and sleeping if they don't pay attention. These are huge moves. One of the biggest weapons facilities that they have, this was what they call an earthquake-sized blast. You could see the after fires. It looked like a hellscape in this region. There's no telling just exactly how many people were in this area, but the depot housed Iskander and the Chachka-U missiles, as well as glide bombs and artillery shells. Could have had something else in there. This was a main targeted spot. If you ask me, Russia should have never let information out about this. Apparently, over the years, they were releasing information about how much they spent to build this facility. It went into full-blown use in 2018, and it's been housing all these weapons. So to let your enemy know where this is at is kind of dumb, but it's been hit. It's been rocked. Absolutely massive. We haven't seen an explosion like this in terms of this war front yet. I mean, outside of using tactical nukes and things like that, you're not going to see an explosion like this of this magnitude. But this is huge.
Yeah, I just want to quickly speak on that because hey, Russia's probably pissed, man, because our last lesson we went into this in the second half of our lesson. We went into how the Russian ambassadors were saying that if any of the NATO countries were to launch missiles into Russian territory, man, that they're gonna retaliate and it's not gonna be good. They're basically threatening nuclear warfare, man. They said that they even went as far as saying the whole planet will die. Okay, and we brought this out in our last lesson in the second half of it, man. We played a few clips that I'm sure a lot of you might not have even seen before, but scary times, man. And you know, just when you thought that the war was only escalating in the Levant region with Israel and Lebanon, this happens simultaneously at the same time. Now you got NATO striking Russia, man. So you know that the war is escalating on all fronts, which basically this is the start of World War III. Like I've been saying, man, like we've been saying, this is only gonna escalate and get worse, man. So let me bring out a quick preset and then we'll play the rest of that video and then we'll see where we go from there. Maybe we'll close it down. So if you could oh, what have I done? I thought I was already in full screen. Yeah, if you could share my screen real quick.
All right.
So this is Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. So this is how all other wars have been fought, man. You know, we didn't have the technology that we have now back then. So this war, like we said, is gonna be a whole nother ball game, man. And it says, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Now you can picture that in like these movies, you see people swinging their swords around and it's raining and they're all covered in mud and blood and they're screaming and shouting and chopping each other to bits and all that, you know. That's how it was back in the day, man. That's how wars were fought. You know, that's how we read about them in the history books and all that. It says, but this, meaning this one's going to be different, right? But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So what you just saw happen in Russia with that weapons facility or whatever that got blown up. Hey, you saw a massive mushroom cloud, right? Now, that's just the start of it because you're going to see a lot more of that in the days we're coming into, man. This war is gonna be with burning and fuel of fire, which ultimately is gonna lead to the nukes. Eventually, the nukes are gonna be let off, which is gonna be real burning and fuel of fire. But you're gonna see a lot of dirty bombs or whatever, you know, Scud missiles or whatever. You know, you're gonna see a lot of explosions. Let's just say, man, we're about to see some fireworks. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and enjoy the show, man. Watch these slave masters kill each other.
Yeah. And yeah, I wanted to bring out a quick precept as well. Okay. But yeah, man, like I was just saying, you know, this war is just boiling over. It's getting to that point, right? And the scriptures even talk about it, right? I'm going to share my screen, right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14, right? So whenever the scriptures talk about woe, that's talking about the destruction, right? So the scripture reads, the Second Woe is past, and that's talking about the Second World War. The Second World War is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So the Third World War is coming quickly, and we can see it. Like, look at the rate that it's escalating at this point. I mean, you know, like Ukraine, again, using weapons supplied to them by NATO and US, right, is being used, and they've hit a target in Russia, causing an explosion that they can see from friggin' space.
Yeah.
I mean, what more, you know, and again, like Dabu was just saying on his video, is that Russia's going to incorporate NATO into this attack. And it's like the lesson that we were talking about, my brother was just talking about, the last lesson we did, the camp lesson, you know, like what happens when, because Spain is a part of NATO. So what happens when, you know, Russia sends a couple of missiles to Spain? Spain's going to be like, what the hell, America? Why'd you give Ukraine the green light to do that? And now they're striking us. You know, we've got citizens, you know, that have now, you know, I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying that it's going to happen because I don't know. But, you know, you can see how this would cause further division between, you know, these countries that will be turning on America, as the scriptures states, that, you know, they will hate the whore and burn her with fire. You know what I mean? Roughly paraphrasing. But you can see how that would be an escalation point for them to turn on America. You know, you can see that, something that America does causes Russia to now attack NATO, which Spain is a part of NATO. So now Spain gets attacked. And I'm just using Spain as an example. Could be Germany, could be the UK, could be Poland. It could be any of those NATO countries. There's quite a number of members in the NATO in NATO. But as you can see, that a lot of them now, like, they're all applying to become a part of BRICS because they all can see that America's on its way out, right? So that just goes to show you that they're all already leaning towards Russia and the BRICS nations, or the BRICS nations, should I say. You know, they're leaning towards siding with them anyway because of the economic advantage that the BRICS is going to have over the world once America collapses. So now, you know, the broke nation who can't afford to pay their own bills, you know, is going broke and, you know, causing them all economic troubles across the world, you know, and now causing them to be struck by the, you know, by their enemies. You know what I mean? Like, because this is you can tell that this is an escalation from America. America's escalated this whole thing because, you know, if you think about the start of the war, all of this could have been avoided, like the war between Ukraine and Russia. All of this could have been avoided if they came to an agreement, but it's not within them to do that because it's the Lord's movie. The Lord is pushing this out. The Lord is hardening America's heart, just like He did Pharaoh in the Exodus. You know, when you read Exodus, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and Pharaoh was just being a damn demon. You know, that's what the Lord is doing to America because, you know, America's going to be the second Exodus. You see what I'm saying? So all this is biblical prophecy and we're seeing it play out. And like my brothers mentioned earlier, it's a beautiful time that we live in because it's exactly what the Lord said He was going to do. Right? So it's beautiful in the sense of like, yeah, you know, the Lord is fighting for us. He's fighting for us. You can see where the Lord is fighting for us. Right? But at the same token, you know, it makes you a bit anxious because it's like, well, what's going to happen? You know, how crazy is this world going to get? It's going to be like a time that we've never seen before. So nobody has an answer for that. We can't answer anybody's question and say, this is exactly what's going to happen because we don't know. It's a time like no other, you know?
That's it. I got a quick precept I want to bring out.
Yeah.
Because you were speaking about the 10 horns. I grabbed that precept.
Yeah.
I was actually looking for it while you were saying that, to be honest. All right, so this is the book of Revelations, chapter 17, verse 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. And the whore is Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, the great whore, okay, which all the countries of the earth have committed fornication with," meaning they're doing trade deals and and taking on the philosophies and the ideologies of America, man, walking in the same ways as America, okay? America has a great influence over these other countries, man. It says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest, the 10 horns is NATO. Okay, so it says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So all these countries are going to end up turning on America, man. Because America is becoming a big damn problem, and everyone's looking at America sideways right now. You know, America has been the bully for far too long, and now everybody realizes that America is a sick puppy. America is twisted. America is has lost the plot, man. America's crazy, and they realize that, hey, this bitch has got to go. This whore, she got to get out of here, man.
Yeah. That's like I was saying, the EU and NATO, the European Union and NATO, man, they're all going to turn on America. You know, and there's the precept right there that you can see for yourself. It's not us making this up. It's in the scriptures. It's written.
And the last part of that precept, it says, and burn her with fire. That's them nukes. They're all going to turn their nuclear weapons toward America, man. It's going to be overkill, because the Lord says he's going to turn that whole continent into a lake of fire. It's going to be desolate from coast to coast. It's going to be overkill, man. That whole continent from coast to coast is going to be destroyed. There ain't going to be one survivor in that whole country, man. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, but that's going to be... Oh, it's lucky.
That's when the next era comes in, man. That's when the kingdom of heaven comes in.
Yeah, because what I was going to say is, you know, that lake of fire, you know, is going to be hit because of them nuclear bombs being, you know, dropped in America. You know, you can imagine, like, somewhere like Yellowstone National Park, like where the super volcano is, being hit with a nuclear weapon. Like, you don't think that's going to cause more damage? Matter of fact, let me get this precept here. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and 16, and it reads, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire." Now, the smith would be like your blacksmith. You know, you look at them medieval films where they're dipping the sword in or the iron in the fire, and they're beating it with a hammer. They're honing that weapon. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, the weapon of his work, the Lord's work. I have created the waster to destroy." That's these nuclear bombs. You know, them scientists is the smith. You know, the scientists are the ones that are in the lab, Oppenheimer, creating that perfect molecular thing to expanding, just destruction. I have created the waster to destroy. That's what happens, you know, when you look at these nuclear missiles being launched. You know, if you look at videos on YouTube, you can see the destruction of these things. I mean, ain't nothing surviving, man. The only thing that's surviving is the cockroaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't survive anything.
You know,
them things ain't going nowhere.
Exactly, man. Exactly. You know, but I wanted to bring that out because, you know, when you're talking about how, you know, the America's been turned into the lake of fire. What do you think can melt elements? You know, something has to be extremely hot to melt elements. Now, when a nuclear bomb goes off, they're saying the center of the nuke is hotter than the sun, than the surface of the sun.
They're saying 10,000 times hotter.
Yeah.
Than the sun.
Then exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you don't think you can melt elements with that? Like, you know, when you think of welding, it's nowhere near as hot as the friggin' sun, but it's welding metal together. Now, anything hotter than that will basically disintegrate it.
Yeah.
You know?
Because Russia was bragging about how if Ukraine goes too far or launches nukes into or long range missiles into Russian territory, he said that he will turn Kiev into a melted spot. That's what he said. He said, "I'll turn it into a melted spot." I could picture that, man. You know, the whole of Kiev just being a melted spot because he prides himself in his nukes, man. That's Esau in his sword because these Russians are Edomites also.
But yeah, let me get another quick precept real quick. This is the book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "For behold, the day cometh," meaning it's gonna come, "the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble." Now, who's more proud than Esau Edom? You know, aka America. America, you know what I mean? Like,
America, fuck yeah.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, America, all the wicked, all that do wickedly shall be stubble, burnt to a crisp, you know, slow roasted, you know, overdone, well overdone.
Yeah.
It says, and the day that shall cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall leave them neither root nor branch, like completely gone. Finito.
The messed up thing is, like, when these nukes go off, the most people that die from these nukes are gonna be the ones that are on the outskirts of the blast radius. So they're gonna cook slow.
Yeah.
They're gonna be slow roasted. You could be like 50 miles away and from ground zero of a nuke blast, and you're still gonna cook. And you think of how many people are within that radius, man. That's where most of the death is gonna come, and that's why the scriptures speak about how these people their tongue is gonna consume away in their mouth, and their eyes are gonna consume away in their sockets while they stand upon their feet. What else can do that other than nuclear weapons, man?
Yeah.
Nuclear missiles.
Exactly, man. You know, and you think, you know, just because, you know, if you got people at ground zero, they're going to be evaporated instantly. They probably won't even feel it. But the Lord could have it to where you feel every second of it. You know what I mean? Like an instant to you could, you know, or an instant to us could be, you know, the Lord could have it to where you're roasting for about 10 hours. You know what I mean? Just feeling everything for like 10 hours straight.
All over your body. You're just a skeleton. You're still feeling your bones just burning.
Yeah, you're like Sarah Connor of Terminator 2 when she's holding the fence, you know, just
yeah, that's it.
Cooking.
That's it. She's still feeling her bones hot as hell.
Jeez.
Hot bones.
Boy, yeah, that's crazy. Well, I'm gonna play just the rest of this Dabu video just to
and then we'll close it out. I think because
yeah.
I got no more precepts.
I got one more, but
this could really be a defining moment of where this whole thing goes. Here on this whole world stage, World War III going into motion, the whole nine. This is absolutely huge. And Russia is definitely going to respond somehow, some way to this. So, a heads up if you don't know. Again, apparently Ukraine struck a good bit into Russia and hit this depot, and it's massive, and it's eerily similar to the warning we've had for a decade about this, or a mushroom cloud in the region. So join me on my live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, where I'm talking about this and a whole lot more in greater detail, and hit that subscribe button for more.
Yeah, anyway, because yeah, you know, like in order for Ukraine to hit that site, because they've hit a lot of Russia's weapons sites where they have weapons, because that isn't the first place that I've seen that were holding Russian weapons that was hit. But this one has to be the biggest, because obviously it's created a mushroom cloud that's being seen from space. You know what I mean? So, you know, it just goes to show you that America is helping Ukraine, because Ukraine basically has been taken over. They've been taken down. Like, their soldiers, you know, are dwindling. That's why they went on that campaign to try and bring back all the Ukrainians that fled out to other countries, trying to expedite them back so they can fight in the war. And then they were asking, you know, the government if there would be any volunteers from other countries that would join the right. Like, I'm not going to fight in your war to die for you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, why would I, man? Like, look what happened at the start of the war. They wouldn't even let, obviously, our people were mixed with the Hamites, but look at what they were doing with the Africans in those countries. They were not allowing them to leave at all. They were letting their citizens out first, kicking the Africans off the train, making them walk. You know what I mean? They didn't want to help them foreigners, for anything. And now they're like, oh, by the way, we need you to, but no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, even Edomites don't want to fight in the war because no one's down for the cause. Everyone's sick of their wars.
Mm-hmm.
People want peace. They don't want war. The only ones that want war is these elites. Why are we going to volunteer to fight in a war and die in this war for a country that we don't even really agree with their policies and stuff, man? They're sending all our tax dollars to Ukraine and Israel by force. We ain't got a choice in the matter. Why would we want to fight for a government like that? To hell with these damn devils, man.
Exactly. And then, you got these people that are struggling. Ain't no food in their cupboard. They have to choose between paying rent or buying food, all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, what was it saying in the scriptures? It says when the wicked rule, the people mourn, but when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. Paraphrasing. But the scriptures say that. And you can see the people that are in rulership right now are the wicked. That's why the people are mourning. You have protests every other weekend. You know what I mean? Or something that's happening. That you don't think those people that are struggling up north, you don't think that was part of the reason why they started doing them race riots in August, Them people looking at the foreigners coming in, getting all this aid, and they're not even citizens of the country. You don't think the people that, are struggling, who can't afford to pay their rent, you don't think that they saw, because all they saw was a bunch of melanated people coming in, just getting all the benefits and staying in our jobs. Like, they're not even working, bro. We're just giving them the money, you know what I mean? So they can't be stealing their jobs because the government's just giving them the money for free.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just wanted to bring out one last precept. Because again, like Dabu said, Russia will strike. We'll find some way to come back at us. Either it be a cyber attack or an actual missile strike. But eventually, the missiles are going to be shot. It's just inevitable at this point. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 13, and it says, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow; his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world." Meaning, the archer, when you think about an archer, pulls back the bow, releases the arrow, they're saying it's being shot from one end of the earth to the other end, one end of the world to the other end. What do you think that's talking about? It's talking about the missiles, and they're sharp, meaning, they pack a punch. If they hit you, they're gonna make you bleed out, you know what I mean? And what can make America bleed other than being completely annihilated off the planet? You know what I mean? Like, them arrows, them nukes falling from heaven, bam, 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 America gonna be looking cooked, man. You guys, I'm gonna display a quick image, right? You'll see what I'm talking about, right? So America gonna be looking like that, you know what I mean? But like we say, this is what we've been talking about this whole time in regards to the the nukes and the arrows being shot. That's what you're gonna see, is just total destruction, But yeah, I don't have anything else unless you have something else you want to bring out.
No, I just want to quickly emphasize the fact that the scripture here, 2nd Ezra 16 and 13, it says, "And they shall not miss." So these weapons are going to do what they were created for. Because these nukes, the only time a nuke has ever been used on a country is Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man. But these nukes are going to be used for the day of the Lord, because that's what they're created for. And when it says they shall not miss, it means that they're gonna hit their target, and they're gonna do exactly what they were intended to do, which is destroy Babylon the Great, aka America, man. So, you know, hey, this is not a time to be playing around. This is a time to get your house in order, basically, man.
Yeah.
Because this day is fast approaching. Now you're seeing tensions escalate. We ain't got much time left. Because as soon as this dollar crashes and the system collapses, you ain't going to be able to repent. And then you're going to be left there to melt.
That's right.
Okay, when the nukes go off, man. While the elect get delivered.
Can't.
All right. So I think we'll close out there. Is that what you got, yeah?
Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah. Come on, man. Good lesson. Lord willing, you made it this far. But, you know, a lot of you already know the precepts we brought out. But there are some of you that might not. So, hey, this is what's coming, you know, for you that don't really understand what's going on. You might be new to watching these videos. It's all biblical. It's all scriptural, man. And it's all happening and playing out as it's supposed to, on cue, right before your eyes. So, hey, this is a time to repent and seek the Lord like you never have before. You know, there's nothing left to live for in this world. You might as well leave the world behind. They don't make movies and series and stuff like that for no reason, man. You know, there's truth behind a lot of that. Leave the world behind, you know. All right, I'm gonna close out there then. All right, give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem,
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.